What's up, everybody? Today we're talking about how to learn more and remember more from the books that you read. Think of the last book that you read. Do you remember what the theme was? What were some of the supporting arguments? Do you remember the main point of the book at all? Many of us, after reading books, we remember and say, oh yeah, I read that book, but I can't really remember what it was about or why it was important or what I got from it. Well, there's a few things that you can do to make sure that you learn from the books that you read and that you can remember what you read. Now, the first thing you should do when starting a book is to inspect the book. You know that old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Yeah, that's bullcrap. Judge a book by its cover. Inspect the cover. Inspect the back. Go to the table of contents and read through the table of contents. Read any commentary about the book that you can. Authors and publishers put a lot of time into the cover of the books and what's on the back of the book as well. So you should be able to get a good sense of what you're going to read and what you're going to get through by judging the front and the back. Now, going through the table of contents will help you get familiar with the layout of the book and what the author is going to talk about and discuss as they go through all the chapters. After you get through the table of contents, skim the book. Skim it, skim the whole thing. Flip through and hit each chapter, dip in every once in a while, read a paragraph here or there. I like reading the first paragraph of every chapter and then the last two paragraphs of every chapter. Also, if you're in a chapter and there are like subheadings within, take a peek at those as well. By doing this with a book, you should get a good sense of what the author is going to argue, what their supporting facts are, what their overall arguments are, and you can discover the theme of the book by doing this. Now, after you've skimmed the book, then you have to make a decision. Is it actually worth reading? Sometimes you'll skim a book and you'll start digging in and you'll realize, oh, this wasn't what I thought it was. I'm not ready to read this yet, or I'm not willing to put in more time. And that's okay. Take that book, put it away, or don't buy it, and then you can read it at a later date. Now, if you've skimmed the book and you're ready to read more, on to step 2. Read the book. Read the whole thing. Don't stop. Don't look up any words that you don't understand. Don't take notes, don't highlight, don't do any of that. Just read straight through it. Oftentimes when reading for information or for learning to try to understand things, it's normal to pause and look up a concept that you're not familiar with. But instead of stopping your flow and breaking away from the story that the author is trying to lead you through, stick with it. Read through the whole thing, and it's likely that if you don't understand a point early on, a well-written book will actually explain better what you may not understand. Also, when reading through the book, you should take notice of the things that you understand, that you don't understand, things that you agree or disagree with, or things that you're curious about. Now, at the end of stage 2, when you're done reading through the entire book, you should understand the theme of the book. A well-written book will have a repeatable theme. For example, the theme that I got from this book is that your environment matters when it comes to creating habits. The theme from this book, focus matters. You have to have focused time to get stuff done. Even a book like The Boys in the Boat, this has a theme as well. That even if you're an underdog, if you work hard and really push yourself and work as a team, you can accomplish great things. Now, you should be able to learn a lot from reading all the way through the book, but will you remember those things? Probably not. I know I don't. I remember the theme and maybe one or two things that really stick out, maybe a couple of key points or key stories that really resonated with me. Now, after this stage, if you've read through the book and you really enjoy it, immediately reread it. But this time, go through it slowly and digest the book. Take your time with it. Highlight in it. Write in it. Ask questions in the margins. Write in it as much as you want. I know some people think that that's sacrilege, but you know what? The book is a conversation between you and the author. And to be honest, it's not actually a conversation. It's the author teaching or preaching or telling you everything that they have done, all that they have learned. One way that you can converse back is by writing in the book. Now, at this stage, you should be a demanding reader. Look for the arguments, look for any logical fallacies that might exist, and try to determine if the author's arguments are sound. Now, if you go through this third stage and you take your time, you're going to spend more time with the book, you're going to remember more, and 2 months from now, you will look back and you will be able to relate back the theme, the arguments, the good arguments and the bad arguments, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and more. Now, if you really want to remember what's in a book, you should go to a 4th stage, and that is reading additional books on the topic. So if you finish this book about habits, read this book, and then this one, When you read different books on the same topic, right? You skim them, you read them through, and then you reread them as a demanding reader, you can start to connect the dots between all of them. You can identify similarities and differences between them. And when you as the reader can point out how an argument of one author differs from another, then you can say that you really start to understand a topic. Plus, if you only read one book on a topic, you are at risk of falling victim to the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's a video for another day. So again, 3 things to do. Inspect the book first, read it all the way through, and then read it again, but this time with a very demanding requirement. And if you really want to learn a subject, pick another book or 2 or 3 or more and keep reading on the same topic. I hope you enjoy reading. If you have any tricks about how you like to learn while reading books, let me know in the comments. Till next time.